Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a weekly video podcast where we talk about all the latest and greatest happenings in VGC. And today I'm joined by two special guests. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Alex. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. I'm excited for the tournament this coming weekend. So I know that's going to be one of the main topics. LAIC, another good spectator event. Let's get hyped for that one.
And we're going to entirely revamp our tier list and fix it because it was totally broken before this. So we're going to have a brand new tier list for LAIC to entirely demolish once again. And of course, we got my other special guest and other de facto co-host at this point. We got Nick. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm a last minute sub after the primary guest that they had planned dropped out, and we're gonna fix the tier list, which is only bad because I wasn't here the first time.
It's true.
Yeah, that's what they always say.
It was. It was all Rajan's fault. That's what we're doing. don't.
Oh, you have. See, that's that. The one guy in the comments is so right.
don't go back and see who is advocating for Sneasler and S tier. Certainly don't check that out. Yeah, don't watch that video. Watch this video. But yeah, speaking of videos to watch, if you cannot watch the entire thing, if you maybe come in midway through or you can't stick around the entire time, this will be out on YouTube tomorrow. So make sure to check that out. You don't want to miss our LAIC preview. And yeah, I guess let's talk about the news. First and foremost, there were a couple things that happened over the weekend. The first thing that happened was the Buenos Aires special event. However, we don't have teams for that. There is a stream for that, and we do have the results. Congratulations to Javier9 for winning that event. Chilean player, very very good, and also congratulations to Juan Salerno for going undefeated all the way to finals and then succumbing to the undefeated curse and losing in finals as per you do. As you know, that's what happens when you go undefeated in Swiss. But yeah, that
right.
And then that event also was the top cut was streamed, and so you can see that over at Capsule Carp. You can see I watched a little bit of it and not watched the entire thing. But yeah, so you can go ahead and you can catch the top cut VOD. You can definitely go watch that, and maybe you can catch some of the teams as well if you want to scroll through and see what some of the players were using. But because we don't have that on Top Cut Explorer or anything like that, because the teams are not public yet, we're not really going to talk about it. And also, I'm sure a lot of these players are going to the Latin American internets, and hopefully they will do well there, and we'll be able to see their teams in full next week.
I did see in the top cut though, Matthew So, right? Wasn't Matthew the one you were the person you were streaming with earlier this week? Well, I guess last week.
Yeah. We had Matthew So. He made top cut. He made top 16, and then we also had another American player. We had Kai Livinghouse make it to top 4 as well. We've been talking about what is it going to take for someone to steal a Worlds invite from a different region, and Kyle nearly did it, but getting to top 4. He did not quite win though, so now he's just making the life more difficult for the rest of us by getting top 4 CP at a 60-player event.
Yeah. And also life more difficult for the Latin American players because that is like, not an invite stolen, but a lot of championship points taken away. So yeah, pretty funny to see this, I guess, happening now. Alberto did it also technically in Lille or Gdansk, one of those. I know Alberto was in Europe for one of their regionals. Regardless, though, yeah, this was a pretty small one that we talked about in the preview. It was only like 60-something players, and I think I was talking to somebody earlier. Well, we don't have like the exact stats, but I think it was, more invaders than Argentinians, even though it's held in Argentina. We've seen that, I think, before. Maybe Lille had more Italian players than French, but regardless, pretty funny to see. And yeah, Adi's kind of flashing the teams on screen here. I was going to say that Rain ended up taking it all. Javier won the whole thing with a, relatively simple standard Rain team. They're, P2 balance type team mixed with Rain, kind of just a blend of the two. Might have seen some teams like this before. You can't run everything. You don't get to run Bass and Golden Go and all the Pokemon on this team. So it's a blend, has some pros, some cons, but ultimately was able to go the distance here and win the whole thing.
Yep. I think Arcaludon is just such a house. It's so hard to take out. And then you give it some healing from Amoonguss too, and all of a sudden, oh my god, it's just impossible. So really, yeah, just a really strong team. And then we saw We saw Hwanfi also with I guess not quite the team that we're used to seeing. Instead of what's normally Ursa Luna, we see a Gastrodon in that slot. Otherwise, a relatively standard looking team. But yeah, just definitely got his own spin on things as well. And he went undefeated again. He went 10-0 up until finals and lost in finals. So had a really, really strong run as well.
I'm pretty sure I played against that exact team, whether it was Juan Salerno or not, at some point on stream the last week, just leading up to it. I was just playing Fede Campos like rain team, and I got clapped. I'm pretty sure. I was just like, oh, I tried to just like flip turn one, and Gastrodon came in. I'm like, yeah, my bad. Whoops. But yeah, it was a very strong team. Honestly, a very crazy finals. If you haven't watched it, just know that game one is nonsense. I don't want to spoil it because it is hilariously nonsensical. And yeah, actually, Adi, if you don't mind jumping back to the top 4 one, I do want to just mention really quick because it was cool to see Kyle was running basically a slight variation of the GC team that Nails ran and Mont and I worked on. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see GC strats still working in Open Team Sheep Best of 3 here. And yeah, it was that funny Annihilate with coaching, Final Gambit, Close Combat Rage Fist, the ability to kind of just do whatever the position asked for. So pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Loaded Dice Dragonite was a GC strat for a bit. Assault Vest or Saluna was a best of 1 strat. Like that, we see it all the time. It is not uncommon for people to appropriate these ideas and they do really well. And also, one strat that I would not expect to see is Mirror Urban Incineroar. But we were talking, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, how people needed to rethink how they use Incineroar. And here we see Kyle rethinking it in a format full of King Gambit, full of Annihilate, using that Mirror Herb to his advantage and trying to get those stat boosts. Maybe stealing even things like stamina boosts from Archaludon or what else, like Psychic Seed boosts or stuff like that. Like there's so many different boosts. Mirror Herb,
Yeah,
really strong item right now, especially on Intimidate Pokemon.
Yeah, if you run it enough, speedy enough, you can also just outspeed Dondozo. It might not, make or break the entire matchup, but you can get off like a knockoff or a parting shot before the Dondozo can do anything. Obviously, it's unaware of your stat boosts, but it's not unaware of the speed. You can't really ignore that part. And speaking of speed, you can also copy the speed boost part of a scale shot, which I think is pretty amusing. I don't know how well an Incineroar could use it, but imagining a Dragonite scale shotting you, and then you get to just move a lot faster because of the Mirror Herb. Could come in handy sometimes. You might outspeed like a Golden Go or something. So yeah. Anyways,
than the Dragonite.
What were you saying?
Oh, just getting out at the end. Yeah, whichever partner is slower than the Dragonite, you can just get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle talked to me about a week before the tournament. He just kind of reached out and asked about the team, and he was considering a different direction. And I told him, hey, well, if you're looking at what I was running, just try. Don't knock it till you tried it, and just see what Alex and Mount were cooking. And yeah, no, he just took it and ran with it.
Yep. Definitely some choices though made on his own as well. There was some changes there, and we'll have to see if Kyle sticks with it or changes it up at LAIC if he's planning on attending. But
I also,
the ape set. Yeah, I love that ape set. We cooked with that one.
I also want to there's one more team that I have, which is the Sebastian Rodriguez's team. He tweeted out, and he has a rental code as well. And he got top 8 with the Stealth Rocks Clefairy, which I thought was pretty cool as well. Clefairy, a little cool Pokemon we have pretty low on our tier list, which we're gonna get to in a second. So maybe we have to reconsider it and recontextualize it with the Stealth Rock tech.
Maybe. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Just if they have a focus sash in the back, then you just say no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Have to imagine that that's most of what's going on there.
And multi-scale D-Knight.
Sure, yeah. Dragonite doesn't love being led because it's intimidate bait, and so you say, okay, if it's in the back, then that, and it probably, like, chipping Incineroar is probably pretty helpful for Goldenga. So hitting a lot, checking a lot of boxes.
Yeah, Instants can live the close combat from Sneasler, they can live the Earth Power from Ursaluna, and then all of a sudden they can't. That's also pretty cool. So, yeah, I see it. So yeah, I think again, if we get the full teams from this tournament, we might talk about it more. But I think a lot of the players did well here. I expect to do well at LAIC, or at least I hope to see their teams at LAIC. That's going to be the real test for a lot of these players, because that's going to be a several hundred player tournament and not a 64 player tournament. So we will see if we can get some more teams from this tournament next week. Look out for that. The other thing that was announced this weekend was there is an update to the Play Pokemon Rules Handbook, and they have a whole post on here where they talk exclusively about one change, which does not impact VGC at all. It exclusively impacts TCG. They answer the question that I've been asking the entire time: why did they reduce the number of rounds? And they said it's because TCG best of threes last about 80 minutes and they have more competitors than ever, so they had to reduce it, ignoring the fact that VGC does not take that long to finish and we don't have to have the exact same tournament structure. We also have fewer rounds every tournament. And but
no, that's nonsense.
And so, and by the way, they added this change because TCG players were annoyed that you could make day 2 and win all of your rounds in day 2 and miss top cut. And their change was they made it so more players could make day 2. Now you can go 5-2-1 with the one draw instead of just having to go 6-2 to make day 2. And if you go 5-2-1, you are guaranteed not to make top cut if you win out. So they said it's not a bug, it's a feature. And they've expanded day 2 to include everyone, basically. So any thoughts on this before we talk about the VGC changes?
I mean, they're just leaning into the point of a Pokemon tournament is to play Pokemon and have fun playing Pokemon, and not everybody should be there competing solely with the goal of getting first. And that's probably a good change to actually have codified and emphasized in the rules. I don't really mind it. It just is a little there's some parts of it that are silly, and I do wish that they'd were taken some time to fix the low-hanging fruit of VGC issues, which is we do actually need one more Swiss round, and our situations are not equivalent to TCG, so just let us do our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that aside, yeah, I don't know. I think letting more people play more Pokemon is probably a good thing in the main event. Especially since they're increasing prize support. The 5-2-1 players still do have a claim that I just bricked twice, but I had a really good call for the event, and I could have cashed if I'd simply gotten to play in day 2. I think that's real, and so just letting those players have their crack at it is probably good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and then with that, we could talk about the VGC changes, which they did not talk about in their little thing, but it does actually come up not so much for Masters. The main things that, well, I guess some of the things come up for Masters. So first and foremost, play points are going to be used as tiebreakers for TAs, for travel awards and for stuff like that. I guess potentially if this also applies to if people are tied for 75th in NA, for example,
right.
Whoever went to more locals will get the invite. So don't stop going to locals, kids.
Because those don't cap, right? I don't have a play point cap. BFL.
Nope.
Oh my god, this is really good news for the Seattle scene. I don't know, guys. This is actually just a universally good change, I think, honestly.
My take on this is that play points should be used as the CP tiebreaker, but the reverse of how they have it, fewer play points means you have the better season, which I think is objectively true, but they want to encourage participation, so they're not going to do that, obviously. But I mean, if you have equal number of championship points and one person has 30 more play points than the other, it's pretty clear that the guy who went to fewer events and had the same championship point total had the better season. But yeah, they're never gonna do that. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Joe says they want to avoid the situation that Aussies had, where they had 9 TAs, presumably because they all tied for some place for like 6th or 7th place.
Yeah.
But I think the solution to that is just having more events in Australia. They could really solve that
Right.
problem
That's
pretty easily.
crazy. I don't know why they would do that.
And then
You do have less ties with more like numbers being added. I don't know. Like you just got to have like more variables there, because I think the reason that happened is because they had like 3 events all season, right? It was like
Yeah.
maybe less.
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, my take for this is that they need to reward variable championship points for tiers. Like 17th shouldn't give the same amount of points as 32nd. Those players had very different tournaments. The 17th player was probably in contention most of the way through the tour, and the 32nd placing player probably won their last round and like just squeaked in.
I mean, now the 17th
And
place player made top cut and the 32nd player did not, right? So
actually, that's even more true now than it was before. Yeah. It's just, uh, yeah. They need to just have championship points scale, uh, just like logarithmically down um, from 1 all the way to where they stop rewarding championship points, and that'll also let them just not like you won't have hard bubbles. You'll just you can say a third of the players in the tournament get championship points, and so if there's a 500 player tournament, then 1 to 167 get their championship points, and I guess there's a hard bubble at 168, but it's just depending on the number of entries, and so
oh.
I think that's more fair.
If you want my everything I would change about the play Pokemon circuit if I was in charge video, let me know. Put it down in the comments. I was thinking about making it after they made a like actively negative change to TCG. In my opinion, I did one of these threads on Twitter in like 2019 or something like that, 2020 maybe. And I think it's time for a new one, but I don't want to do it on Twitter. So yeah, also follow me on Blue Sky. Let's get off Twitter. Come on, play Pokemon. Anyways, moving on from the play points, which is just hilarious. Tardiness is no longer a tiebreaker at tournaments. So if you show up late, you probably get a game loss or something like that. I don't know exactly what the penalty is, but you also get you also are always the last place tiebreaker. You always have the lowest tiebreaker of anyone with the same record. So you bubble out of top cut at locals and potentially out of championship points or out of money at regionals. And so that is no longer the case. Tardiness is no longer accounted for, which is cool because if you make day 2 after getting a like round 1 loss, you would still finish at the bottom of your bracket. You still couldn't like go X1 and get a bye. You still couldn't go X3 and get top 32, right? And so they have now changed that, which for better or for worse, I think that's a reasonable change.
The tardiness penalty was extraordinarily punitive. Just you got that. I guess it was way worse with the bubbles that we had before, but yeah, for locals it was just if you could show up, win all your games, but if you showed up late, then you would just be completely out of it. And just the penalty is you've already lost a game. That's your punishment. That's enough of a penalty.
All the people I expect to sleep through their alarm and show up late to a local are popping off at this in chat. And nails too.
Yeah, it's already punishing enough, definitely.
All right, and then the other change that is they have changed the asymmetrical cut. So in the past, I think I talked about this in one of the top takes. They would have there was a situation at Baltimore Regionals for seniors where the undefeated player, if they won their last round, they would go undefeated in Swiss, but there would be a 11 player cut or something like that, where all X2s would make cut. But if they lost their last round of Swiss, then it would be a hard X1 cut. And so they would they would be able to skip their top 8 set and go directly to top 4. And so they essentially got a bye for losing, which is kind of dumb incentive to have in a tournament. You really shouldn't ever be incentivized to lose a set. And so I believe they have fixed that with the change in sizes of top cut, given the number of players. And so I think they have fixed it. I'm not entirely sure, but that seems to be what this is targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, asymmetric
Yeah.
top 6 cut is also is also interesting. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, no, the asymmetric top 6 cut is so good. They need to do more of that. Like, I've been on the top 12 cut for years, and they instead swapped to a hard X uh, X2 or X3, whatever it ends up being, per event cut, generally X2. But the top 12 cut was still good. But yeah, no, giving the top players buys is just good, and we need more of that.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
Alex, any final thoughts about the changes?
Yeah, I don't think that any of these are going to be as big for us as we saw. I mean, like we have like a bunch of minor ones here, and then we talked about the TCG stuff earlier. I think that my main takeaway from this is that whether they're making the right steps or not, they are trying to do something about the problems that TCG is encountering with their current tournament structure. And that's giving me enough, copium to say that, maybe we'll get those changes coming our way eventually. Maybe they're monitoring how things are being run for us. And, we all just keep saying just one more Swiss round would fix me. I'm really hoping that eventually they hear us out on that one. And that's like, what we end up seeing. Because like we said so many times, we don't need to be mirroring TCG exactly for any reason whatsoever. So, yeah, just hoping that we see changes on our end as well.
So now
Go get a different system than us. So like than us in cards. So why can't VGC have a slightly different system as well?
right,
That just better fits our needs.
100% agree.
We don't have ties, and so we're different. We're a different game.
Yeah, and rounds take less time and all these other changes. Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yep.
And I think we've harped on that a lot now, and we've harped on it in several other weeks. Let's jump into the main course for today. We have a tier list. And so we have been every month we have been reassessing our Regulation H tier list. We started off at the very beginning of the format, and we were very, very wrong. Then we made some changes based on the results from the first couple tournaments of the year, or from the format, excuse me. And we came up with this. And this was me, Alex, and Rajan's cumulative work. And the format has developed quite a bit since then. So I think what we did last time is essentially kind of just went through from top to bottom and kind of rotate through me, Alex, Nails, or whatever order we want to do. And each of us would point to a Pokemon and say we should change this to Pokemon's tier and go from there. And yeah, so let's talk about let's talk about it. And I see someone in chat saying let's talk about World Cup hitting top 16. We don't really talk about team tours in this, although shout outs to Team India, we made top 16. So looking forward to that. But yeah, World Cup did make top 16. Check out Victory Road streams; they do a great job. Oh yeah, let's talk about the tier list. So, and I'm going to start us off because I think there's one thing that Rajan was advocating for very heavily that Alex and I disagreed with last month, and that was putting Sneasler in S tier. And now I think it is time. I think Sneasler has to go in S tier, if you ask me. What do you guys think?
Oh, okay. Wait. So, Adi, can you do me a quick favor? Pull up the results of Gdansk. I just can't remember what were the final teams looking like.
Okay. Yeah.
What were the two teams that got first and second?
Okay. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, but also oh
wait, there's no Sneasler there, huh?
So
wait,
what was Sneasler's usage in day 2? It was over 50%. I think if you hit over 50% usage, and you are this far ahead of the competition, you have surpassed the rest of it. It'd be unfair to put Sneasler in the same tier as all the other Pokemon when it is so clearly, like a level above everything else in terms of usage. And I think what changed really is that people started looking at all these different sets. We saw and like realized that this Pokemon has an insane toolkit. It doesn't have to be just Fake Out, Sash, Close Combat, Dire Claw. You could run the we saw Nils win a regional with a White Herb set, which was really cool on Sand. We saw people run coaching more and more often. That was not really a thing the last time, or it was starting to become a thing last time we did the tier list, but now it's everywhere, and coaching is maybe you have to have a coaching Caesar next to Dragonite answer. And so So yeah, I think that just people unlocking the full potential of this Pokemon, finding out different ways to use it, and really finding out that it is maybe the most versatile Pokemon in this format, is why it is moving up, in my opinion, to S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean
think
that's
that's
something
fair.
you usually see out of the top Pokemon in a format is if they can run a bunch of different stats and they're good with whatever they do. Uh, that's a mark of a top Pokemon in a metagame. Um,
It's starting to really feel like Fluttermane in previous formats. I always have been comparing them on to Fluttermane instead of comparing it to Urshifu. And it still feels a bit more like Fluttermane to me than Urshifu at this point. I don't know. Um, but yeah, because of those reasons that I'm fine with that being asked, because Flutter with all of its different sets, I think that it feels like that was obviously an S tier Pokemon, and Sneasler could be S too.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, so obviously people talk
Well-
about Sneasler 24 hours a day every time they're talking about Regulation H. So let's move on to some hotter ones. And I think the next Pokemon that I want to throw, we'll actually just kind of go in order here. I'll go next, then Nick, you take a stab. I forgot that this is what we did last time, Nick, was we just kind of
yeah,
we'll
go in
start
a circle.
top down and just take something that you think should be moved and bring it up. But I'll bring up Amoonguss as a potential move down just to A. But again, talking about like recent results from Gdansk, I think Amoonguss got like 1 or 2 top 16 appearances. I don't know. I feel like as a Mon, it hasn't been doing the hottest lately, and it feels pretty prepped for with all these teams running Magmar and Electabuzz. There's those guys being as common as they are. It's just kind of suffering. Obviously, Amoonguss is still really, really, really good, but I think teams aren't running it as often. So that's my current thought, is that maybe it'd be moved down to A, but I don't know what you guys think. It also didn't it fall off the top 12 usage picture, I think?
It did.
Yeah.
It
So
did by one point. Tatsugiri overtook it by 1.
right? Come on.
I
So what do you guys think? Are
So
you fighting this or are you agreeing?
I can agree, but only because of the Mon that I'm bringing up next.
Mm-hmm,
I'm a
mm-hmm.
pretty big
Go ahead and
Goldie.
mention it. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's a
and
dialogue.
so yeah, Goldie's pretty cool, and uh, so just that matchup feels really bad to play against,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of about the only reason, because everything else you can kind of game plan around, but they're just there's some other matchups that are tricky, like Sleep and Me and Redirection can also be pretty annoying, or just a Goggles in the wrong place for your team. But yeah, I mean, Spore is still like a fundamental part of the format, and it should be the top of A. But yeah, I don't mind it being moved on to A.
All right. I think it is probably still A plus. I still think it's the scariest. Like the fact that people have to run, like Vital Spirit on Magmar, especially when Flame Body is such a crazy ability. People have to run safety goggles on their teams. To me means that like. This Mon
Oh,
is
wait,
still...
we're talking about safety goggles. Oh, can we look at the 2 finalist teams again?
Man, okay. It's a little different with Marco's team because it's like a hyper offense team that wants to just power through.
Oh,
Amoonguss.
so you're saying that, yeah, oh, it's a little different because the team had answers. Wow. Oh, so it did, oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
When
I
you
guess we
have
just
when you
rolled
have
that
3
out.
fire types, you're allowed to disrespect Amoonguss a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
but-
so if my team's good into Amoonguss, I don't need to run safety goggles. No, that just makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
that's how
Yeah,
it
that's
works.
a good counter argument. Good counter.
just
What?
like you don't have to run Covert Cloak if your team is good into Sneasler. It's the same shit. I am outnumbered.
Combo
I think.
did have Terragrass on the Basque, but yes.
I'll be happy to be proved wrong on this one after the next couple of tournaments, which is just, I guess, LAIC and then SAC, which I'll be playing at. We'll see where that one goes. But yeah, I don't know. I want to put some little bits of spice in this one. Putting Amoonguss down from A plus to A is like as hot as it will hopefully get hotter than that. But I don't know.
We'll put Amoonguss with the other
Nick, what were
6
you
redirectors.
Yeah, I think Joe put that well in the chat as well. Is that there's just so much competition for redirection, and so yeah, Follow Me also does just like do a little bit better than Rage Powder in some situations, because not just because of goggles, but Terra Grass as well. So, Nick, what did you want to mention though? What's your guy? You said you said something about gold.
Yeah, Mr. Goldie is S tier. Um,
Hmm. I will
well,
think I will fight this one, and I don't know where you're standing, Audie.
I think I'm fighting this as well. I don't think it's done nearly well enough to be S tier.
my claim is that Chomper is down, um, and
Hmm.
it just it's just like one of the most fundamentally powerful Pokemon in the meta. Um, it matches up well into the other S tier guy. The point about running a bunch of different sets and doing all of them well is also applies to Goldie. Uh, we saw 6 different Goldengos make day 2 at Gdansk with different items, or 6 different Goldengo items make day 2 at Gdansk.
Hmm.
Like Scarf Goldie plays just very differently from how every other Goldengo plays, and it's just doing work. Specs is still fine. You still have your various flavors of Nasty Plot Boys. Um, and just yeah, based off of set diversity, the fact that it's like one of the only mons with a good spread move in the format. There's
Hmm.
a few other examples, but there's just it's just and then yeah, it shuts down like every status move you can throw at it. Uh, I just the I feel like the meta is sleeping on it a little bit, and it's a mon that you're not allowed to give an inch. I think it's currently S tier.
Alex, what do you think?
Well, was it enough to convince you, Audie? Because I still think I like it at just A plus. Like it's a top dog for sure, but I think that it's just not seeing enough like representation, I guess, to like match Sneasler. There are it's a build around Pokemon, and people are building around other guys instead. That's often compared to the other steals like King Gambit and Archaludon, I guess, to an extent. And I think people aren't choosing Golden Go that much more often than the other ones that it warrants the S tier pick, despite it being like a very flexible and strong Pokemon.
I agree with Alex. I think it is the second best or third best Pokemon in the format. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's the second best Pokemon. I think that Rillaboom has a case for second best still. And yeah,
Hmm.
I just think like the quite frankly, I've been reordering this. I think that Rillaboom, Goldengo, King Gambit, and Archaludon are the next 4 strongest Pokemon in the format. I think that Rillaboom and Goldengo are a little stronger than the other 2, but like those 4 feel like they're at a very similar power level to me, personally.
Hmm.
I can
Joe,
accept that I'm
again,
not
another
wrong.
good take in the chat here, saying that yeah, it's Sneasler's a lot more splashable than Gold. Gold is a bit more of a build around.
I don't hate that take.
All right, Adi, who is your next one you want to take a shot at? Is it an A plus, or do you think we can go down now? If
No,
you say we're
I
going down, though, I'll have to strangle you because there are definitely some ones that need to fall out of A plus.
No, I think that you know what. I will let you take Incineroar later, Alex, because I know you're a big Incineroar hater. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the easy one and say that Garchomp needs to move down. Garchomp has totally fallen off as Dragonite has risen up in usage. It really struggles against Scale Shot, and it just like is not it's just not seeing a lot of success ever since it had the crazy run with the Garchomp Ninetales team being everywhere. It just doesn't feel like it's very well positioned right now for whatever reason. And again, I think a big part of that is just Dragonites taking off in usage. I'm not comfortable putting it below A because I think that like it's still really good. But I think I would drop it
Yeah,
down to A.
I'm supporting this as well. I don't think you want to go further than that, but it's not doing as well, and it's kind of like what we talked about with some other Pokemon. Gonna have to make some adjustments to how it's being played or how it's being built around. It's not so much the issues of like getting past grassy terrain from Rillaboom, more so that people are finding ways to outspeed it and do to outdamage it or to survive its attacks pretty well. And
Mhm.
yeah, I guess I don't know. Results
Yes.
also just matter. Like even then, go ahead, Nick.
Oh yeah, no. Sneasler can just rip the Stellar Terra and punch it in the face for like 80, and so you get any chip at any point, and it's just outsped no
Hmm.
code, and it doesn't love that.
Mhm.
The Scarf Chomp is a really cool guy, but it comes with its uh, own issues. Just basically that Fake Out beats it instead of uh, outspeeding and killing it. So it's still not really resolving all the problems that it has. It's just shifting the problems around. Yeah, I'm down with Chomper Day.
Yep, we'll put it
It's
with all the other ground types in the
again,
format.
Right. Ground is
Sure.
still good, but ground goes an A, I guess. So yeah, no, I don't think I want to take a shot at Incineroar. I think it can stay an A plus. I don't know if it needs any adjusting right now. I'll give like a bit of a half of a take here, I guess. I don't want to make any adjustments off of it, but I haven't liked King Gambit much lately. Just because of how many like Terra Fairies there are in response to Dragonite and such. And King Gambit usually doesn't run steel moves. So it also makes me feel like Incineroar is like a bit better because I'm just like not scared of King Gambit right now. Prim though. Prim's gotta move. Prim's gotta go. And I don't know, I feel like it probably falls more than one tier. Everyone hates this mon, and I don't think it's doing amazing right now. I don't think you can completely count it out, but looking at what we're looking at, maybe A minus is right. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, that guy is really not good. I mean, I would have had it there since the start. I think we have no good
I
water
know.
types in this format, except for Dozo, but he's not a water type. He's a Dozo type. But we'll get to him later.
Right.
Yeah, no, just Prim sucks.
Yeah, wow.
I
It
have never
doesn't
been
it doesn't win
one
damage
of the
traits.
people.
It's had a rough
I've
month.
never been the person that's like Prim is terrible. I don't know. So many people wanted to like literally take Prim out back and shoot it in the head. Like people hate this Pokemon for some reason. I think it's just like fine. I think it's solid. I've never been a big hater or been a big doubter. I think that the main thing that's like really getting in the way of Prim right now is that I guess two things. One, Solo Dozo popping up quite a bit more as like a preferred water type. It has a bit more staying power because of just its immense bulk, as well as Prim no longer being the premier, Dozo Tots counterplay. If you want to run Haze, people are like, you know what? Dragonite learns this move. We're gonna run it on this Pokemon, and it's gonna have a bigger impact on the battle than Prim. With that, the speed stat, and you're also modifying it with Scale Shot. Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of gotten replaced in that way.
Dragonite doesn't die to a Terra Steel Heavy Slam from Dozo. Like,
No.
Prim just is not doing the Haze water type duties, which is like a really low bar for it to clear. But it doesn't do that in that matchup either. Just
I-
like consistently, at least.
I've been saying from the beginning of the format, Prim is a checkbox mon. It checks so many boxes. It's like, I need a Dozo answer. I need Haze. Cool. It does that. I need a water type. It does that. I need a special attacker on a lot of teams where they have primarily physical attackers. I need a fairy type damage dealer to hit the dragon types. Just check so many boxes, and it's kind of mediocre at all those roles. And now that we're building a little more advanced teams, I think that it's fallen off a little bit. And really, I mean, if you look at it,
It was never good.
It seems like it's really good on this one specific team that has 4 special attackers and a follow me user. There's a fire type, right? Like, yeah, that team is probably pretty good on that team.
Four physical attackers.
Four physical attackers, yes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you need this, you do actually need.
Yeah,
to,
but even that team is just putting all of the weight of the world on Prim's shoulders, and the shoulders just can't hold the weight. It's not good enough to have that much stress put on it. The team just falters anytime you can overstress the Prim.
Sure. I'm not gonna fight too much on that,
Yeah.
but I do think that like when a Pokemon is only really being seen on exactly one composition of teams, that probably means that it's no longer like splashable enough to justify being an A tier. I think A minus is about right.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I don't know. This does just like kind of bring to question like, would we want to reorganize our letters? We're not going to do that because it would be too much work. But like, I still feel like A minus is probably right for it. You can definitely top cut with this Pokemon still as is. As we've seen players do. So it's not that bad. Nick,
I think
anyone that you want to take a shot at in A plus or
I'll
moving on
take
to A?
the free guy. Dragonite goes to A plus.
I agree.
Ooh, okay. I like it. I'm here for it. I love Dragonite.
Yeah, no, the scale shot guy just he's really, really well positioned in the meta. Like Yato, Sneasler, depending on your nature. And Jolly Guy still gets there half the time. Um I've heard some players complaining that they don't want to miss their scale shots. And my take on this is that if you don't go for it, you're gonna lose to somebody who hits their scale shots. So be
It
the
sounds
guy
like
who
you don't want to
high rolls.
win.
Yeah, don't try to play a worse strategy, and so you can avoid low rolling. Just high roll with the best strategy. Dragonite at this point is kind of just the best strategy.
See, the thing about Joe says, like, imagine telling people a year ago that Scale Shot was going to be the best D Knight set. Yeah, the funny part about this one, like, I was thinking about, like, we started seeing some usage of this set at the end of Regulation F. As it's currently being used, the standard set on Dragonite is Scale Shot, Extreme Speed, Haze, and Protect. And that is full walled by Fluttermane. Like, that is very much a symptom of, like, the metagame, yeah, that we're in. Like, it literally cannot damage Fluttermane. So, yeah, it was not possible to do before, at least, as all in on this set as it is right now. But right now it does just kind of do everything. The main things being that it can counter setup strategies with Haze. It can counter Sash Pokemon by being a very strong multi-hit move, and it's also just the like second Sash on your team. It's a front-loaded Sash in multi-scale, but it can just damage trade with everything. So excellent Pokemon, fun to use. I like this guy. I
He's a
miss Flutter. I don't know if I miss
he goes
Flutter. I
faster
don't mean
than
like
you.
Flutter's whatever. Do you guys miss Flutter?
Flutter's fun in moderation. Playing 2 years in a row, Fluttermane gets old fast, but Flutter's inherently a pretty fun mon to play around with.
Sure.
Just yeah,
Mhm.
some.
I guess now it's back
a
to
nice
you,
mix of
Adi.
MR.
Who do you want to take a stab at in A?
Yeah, I'm gonna be very sad about this, but I'm sorry, Indeedee, you are no longer an A tier Pokemon. You're going to move down. We had the wrong Indeedee form up here, sadly. So I still think it's A minus. Like, it's still very good. It still sees play on Psy Spam, but on some variants of Psy Spam, it still, I think it's a quite as solid a redirector. Psychic Terrain is still very good, but yeah, it's going down to Primarina tier, where it's really only being seen on one style of team right now.
Yeah, I support this. The main thing is that it's a good package to have with being Follow Me and Terrain. But people are realizing that if they want to use the like Psychic Seed, Sneasler, they're much happier to have the immediate pressure and gas that Indeedee Mail provides by learning Expanding Force. And then in terms of Follow Me options, we've talked about it. There's no shortage of good ones there. So it really does just come down to, are you looking to run exactly hard Trick Room? And yeah, maybe there's some other teams that feature in DD that aren't hard Trick Room. I'm gonna have to go look at the most recent tournament to see what disproves that, but that's pretty much what we're seeing. DD.
I'm trying to pull it up. We got 3
female
of them.
down to 6 usage. Wow.
We got.
Or you're only in day 2.
I'm only in day 2, yeah, but all three
Yeah.
are DD Hatteran, but they are. We got the Sand team. That's pretty cool. It's a cool team. Uh,
Yeah,
That team was pretty
Indeed,
weird.
it's just been any of the aggressive comps that wanted Psychic Terrain have just been open to the idea that, oh, I can run in DDM instead of in DDF, and it's just
Yep.
better for what I need.
Mhm.
And so it's more just the Trick Room teams that want in DDF. Definitely is fallen off a bit,
Yeah.
just in terms of how many teams actually want it.
All right, man. I don't know who I want now in taken out of A.
You-
I mean, like we're jumping all over the place here, but I will grab one that is not really being played anymore, and that is Flamigo. Flamigo's team, like the rest of the guys, I'll drop it down to like looking at B plus. Like there are a lot of like rough guys. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna suggest that. I'm gonna suggest it in B plus. I don't know. It's a solid Pokemon. It's probably on par with the B plus guys in my opinion now. You guys can debate me on that if it should stay in A or be A minus. Regardless, the last thing to finish my point here, I'll just say that yeah, the team that it was predominantly being used on, that P2 Ursaluna balance team, that one's gone. That one's gone. I mean, I think it did get a top 16 finish in Gdansk. That was
Top
like
8.
the one. Was it top 8 in Gdansk? I think
It was top 16,
Oh, it's top 16.
according to
top
Critic
16.
Score.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good. But yeah, it did have a bit of a comeback there, but like that was like a comeback for it. Like nobody's really using it. I'm curious. Yeah, we can look up Flamigo here, and wow, that's that is tough to see. So definitely probably not worth an A tier anymore. Yeah, Sneasler is probably better, just the better Sash fighting guy.
Mhm. And just in general,
Okay.
I think as the metagame sort of centralizes and as we learn what's good, we're going to see fewer and fewer Pokemon in the top tiers. Where I think we're going to move a lot of stuff down and not too much stuff up.
Um, so going along with what we're talking about here, Pokemon that are really underperforming and are still in A tier. Clefable had absolutely like 0 results at Gdansk.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, check this
Oh
guy
yeah,
out.
yep. Yeah, no,
Like
what a
completely
top cut.
missing from one in Top Cut is uh just an underperformance for a mon that we have listed in A tier. I don't know if it's probably supposed to be A minus. Like it still is a good mon in the format, but Sneasler
Mhm.
being everywhere just is a really rough life for a mon that wants to protect its teammates from attacks. Like you can Terra Ghost it and get around the Sneasler, but they've got stuff for Terra Ghost. So like A minus
Now,
is it
mhm.
can probably hang out with Ndidi and the redirectors who turns out don't actually line up that well into the meta.
I like that. I like the placement for it. I will say that I don't think it's as bad into Sneasler as one might originally think, mainly because Dire Claw is like a pretty weak move when it comes to base power. So it can easily be EV'd to take one. And depending on the item you run on your Clefable, you can, live with that. You can run Covert Cloak to
Yeah,
dodge the
like a
statuses or Rocky Helmet to trade for the Sash.
a
But I
Covert
think
Cloak
mainly
Terraghost Clefable would just mess up Sneasler's entire life.
it would. It would.
So yeah.
Regardless, though, I don't think the results are lying to us here. There are better options, so I think that this seems like a good place for it.
Let's do this.
Audie, what do you think?
I agree. I think it goes down to A minus. I think it's in DD tier. We see 5 top 32 finishes since it's the start of October. Just not a ton of finishes for a Pokemon that should be a lot. That is currently in A tier. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. It did win. It did win Dortmund though, but yeah, it's been a couple weeks since Dortmund, maybe over a month. So,
Cool set though.
So,
all right, Audie, you're
Yeah.
up now. Anybody in A tier
Yeah.
that you want to take a stab at?
anyone in A tier that I want to take a stab at? I honestly I don't know if any. I think Ninetales actually has done really well recently. I think it stays in A. I think Whimsicott maybe. I gotta actually see if Whimsicott's had some good performances. Wow, wait, really? Whimsicott had 1 top 32 in the entire last month in however long. Is that true? Did I do this wrong?
I think that's true.
That's okay. This guy's
Well, okay. It did
It
just
had
get top 4 at Buenos Aires. It did just get top 4 at Buenos Aires, if you want to factor that one in. I don't know if that's a terribly huge, success for it compared to everything else that we've seen. If you wanna take it down a peg, I wouldn't fight you too hard on it.
sorry, man. It's going to Talonflame tier. I don't know. It just hasn't been. I'm really questioning this. Did I do something wrong? How is it that bad? I thought I'd do better than that.
Yeah, no, your criteria seems good, and Wims does not apparently. Your search was
Yeah.
that's tough.
Wow.
yep.
Literally rerunning the data just to make sure Pluff is better. We gotta go fish out Pluff from wherever it is at some point. Where there's a couple of low guys that probably need to be brought up.
I think
Um,
moving low guys up to the tier where they belong is fine.
Yeah, no,
We'll
I've
we'll
got.
come back to it.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it at some point. We will get to it. But yeah, I think
all right.
Whimsy and A minus seems pretty reasonable. It's still a good Pokemon. It still does something very useful in the metagame, but just hasn't really seen its especially with Typhlosion also dropping in usage quite a bit. Which is just its best friend, right? I just think it's it's a little underwhelming right now. Sneasler, of course, OHKOing it, and sees Sneasler just outspeeding things in Tailwind. Yeah, it's again Goldengo being everywhere. It's just in a rough spot right now.
Homewood Pluff wins Worlds. Hold on, listen. The Whimsicott did win Worlds, yes, but it's not the same metagame that we played. We haven't played this metagame at Worlds, so I'm sorry. It's just different. Also, Zinconic, do we have Buenos Aires results? We don't, but there was a stream, so we know some of the teams. We know Kyle Livinghouse got top 4 with the team that is the same 6 that Nails got top. Where'd you finish? Top 8, Nick?
Top 8.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, top 8 in the GC2 with
Yep.
and then we the winner team was Rain, P2 Ursa, runner up Juan Salerno had Volcarona, Ensign, Rilla. Anyways, though, my shot though, it was kind of funny, Audie, because I was looking at Mousehold and it feels like it goes up and down simultaneously. The the wide lens set isn't doing as hot, but then the double top 4 at Gdansk from the support set means like this mon probably needs to be right where it's at, and it was really cool to see those two teams featuring it. The set, it brought me back to regulation B or whatever when we were using that guy a lot on teams that didn't even use like Annihilate or anything. So bring me back to the tier list. I got to see if there's anybody else that I want to shift, and like I don't know. I'm kind of struggling. P2 probably feels right. It is just about ready to go down, and Marco Fierro gets second with it. It did literally just win Buenos Aires, so it probably doesn't need to move.
It's had some results. It won Louisville too. It's been around.
Yeah. So like, is there anybody else in A that needs moving? Let me have
I
a quick look again.
I have a guy, but I'm not gonna take cuts. But I have a guy. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Give me 5 more seconds here. I think Pult stays, Pelipper stays. It would probably be, and I think Volk stays too. So it would be Gutsbear if anything. Nick, what's your pick though? I'm just gonna jump to you because I'm kind of indecisive here.
Yeah. So Dragapult. There's gonna be
You want
one
to
in
cut
top.
Pult?
Yeah, I want to drop Pult 1 tier. There's gonna be one in top 8, and it's gonna be Michael Durbesti, and nobody else is gonna have results with it.
Oh, I don't know about that. There are a lot in that did well over the last, including, let's see, MDB got top 8, but there were 2 in top 8 of Louisville, right? And then a bunch more in top 32 that made top cut. Did not do super well at Lille, but again, way more than a lot of these other Pokemon in top 32, even though it didn't actually do well at the higher end. And yeah, there was one in top 8 at Gdansk, but then again, another 2 in top cut as well. So I don't know if I'm ready to move this one down.
Yeah,
It's still around.
It's like bottom of A, but sure.
It's
Like,
definitely
it's
better
still-
than these Pokemon that we have in A-, right? That's my take on it.
hopefully. And it is currently listed in bottom of A. So okay, sure we can move. We can move on.
Yeah.
Pokemon that are currently listed in A.
Yeah. Does Gutsbear or Annihilate need to move? Those are the 2 I'll ask on before we move on.
No, I think Ape is in a good spot, and I mean, I'm kind of a Gutsbear hater regardless, but it's
Just win Buenos Aires, and it's being used on some slightly different like I don't know, it's being experimented with more than like we're used to seeing. I think Wanma's team there has like the like a slightly updated version of P2 Balance. There's obviously Hard Trick Room still featuring it. Wolf's team featured it. It's I don't know. It's a strong Pokemon.
It's gotten top 8 at every single regional in this period, right? So like it's still around. Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot Marco Fierro literally had it on that team as well. Second place.
I think it might be closer to A+ than A-. Like, I'm not saying move
That's
it up.
funny.
I'm just saying like I don't think it's the move down candidate at all.
I am very content with this A tier.
Then let's move on down to let's do A- then and throw it to you, Audie. What do you got?
Throw it to me. So in A-, I guess first things first, is there anything we want to move up? And I think that and you're gonna hate this, Alex, I think the Dozo's gotta move up. It's been everywhere.
Absolutely.
Both as a solo Dozo, and then it was also like one of the highest performing Pokemon Tatsugiri is one of the highest performing Pokemon at Gdansk Regional after Carson did really well at Louisville Regionals with it. It was reasonably like the Dozo Tats combo did pretty well at the last 3 regionals this month. And then also solo Dozo has just picked up in usage to be everywhere. It's really good. It's a really good response into coaching Sneasler because of Unaware. It's a partial response into opposing Dozo as well. It's a good response to like all the setup mons. It's a Goldengo. It's phenomenal into like the non-life orb Goldengo, I think. Yeah, like it's just a really strong Pokemon, even when it's not paired with Tatsugiri. And when it is paired with Tatsugiri, if Primarina usage is going down, if you're not running Haze on Dragonite, you forget your Dozo matchup at home. You're doing pretty well. So I think this mon's got to move up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think A seems right for it. It's not quite above that. It's not that ubiquitously, I don't know, like just universally used, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But like, excellent Pokemon, excellent kit. I like it in A.
Yep.
Okay, then to me, so I'll grab the one. Go ahead.
I wanted to say, can we group Tatsugiri in with the Dozo discussion? Just because we're here.
Yeah, we
Sure.
can say Dozo Tat strats are
think they're
in
A tier
A
right
tier
now.
right now. I think that sounds right. We had them separate because Dozo Tots was doing really poorly, but it's finally finding its feet, I guess, its footing, whatever, in this format.
Yeah.
I'd be fine putting it in A, honestly, even though I hate the fish to death.
I still
The
like putting Dozo a tier above Tats because solo Dozo is so good right now. And I'd put
Solo
Tats in A
Dozo
minus.
was way more used than Tats, but sure.
we
Yeah, I'm
could
fine.
we could finding
Yeah.
its fins. That's a good one. Dozo doesn't have feet. It's so true.
Well, it's finding its feet, you know? It hasn't found him yet.
Yeah, it's looking for him. Okay, so yeah, Mont is talking about Bass in the chat here. Mont was talking about Bass in the past, like I think 2 tier list videos. Also at dinner with me, at dinner to me over like the weekend was just like, you are so stupid for putting the fish where it is. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's move the fish up. It has won multiple regionals at this point in this format. So it's probably an A tier Pokemon. Do you guys disagree?
It belongs in Pelipper tier.
Like,
It's like
They,
it's been
they
pretty
belong
clearly the best
together?
way to run Rain, right? So yeah, it just kind of belongs with Pelipper.
Well, you say that, Nick, and non-Bass Rain
Yeah,
did win Buenos Aires.
Yep.
So that's kind of
Okay,
funny.
sure.
There's been like
Explore doesn't have that.
I do think that it is worse than Pelipper in that I see a lot of like really strong Pelipper teams that don't have Basket Legion consistently do well. And Basket Legion, but also like there are Basket Legion teams that don't have Pelipper. They're just a little less common. But I will not complain about it being an A tier, but I do think that it is right in between A and A minus. I think it's better than Primarina, it's better than Clefable. I'm okay with it in A.
It was on the top
Yep.
4 team on a non-rain one as well. Like you were just talking about the non-rain ones. It was top 4 non-rain and top 8 non-rain. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe this adaptability Scarf Bass is better than we were giving it credit for. A seems right. All right, Nick, throwing it to you. Anybody in A minus you want to adjust?
Sure. Has Delphox really had the results to be A minus?
You want to drop it?
Yeah, like I don't know, man. This Fox
Yeah,
is
no.
Ooh,
There,
that's rough.
Look at that.
All right, yeah, move it down one.
But Nick, do tell us where, because like, are you trying to drop it hard, or are you just dropping it once?
I'm not sure. It's like I feel like it can go to B, but if there's pushback, I'm fine with B plus. But I kind of feel like it's just not that good. Like it gets OHKO'd by Scale Shot. It does. I don't know what Delphox just thrives on being faster than stuff, and like the meta just has a lot of stuff that's faster than it right now. Like it gets blown up by Dozo. Like expanding force is a spread move against Dozo, but it just doesn't get to power through the +2 guy, and it dies to Earthquake. Like that one's a bad meta trend
Nah,
for it.
Joe, I don't give a shit about team leagues. Those are literally just not the same game. You just have to build for those so
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah, no, it's just a completely different game from like Draft League is not VGC.
I'm
Well,
gonna push
not
back. I think
not
Oh,
draft
right.
league, but like
Sorry, not those. You mean like Team Tours?
team
But yeah,
tours, I guess. Not like a draft one.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, those are also not tournament VGC.
GCs do value a little more, and I would agree that Delphox is probably a good GC mon. But I think I'm happy to put it in B plus currently. Yeah.
I think that unless we are also planning on moving all the other size spam mons down, I think it sticks around with them. I think it's about the same tier as a lot of the Pokemon in B plus. And we're gonna move some of the stronger Pokemon in B up. But I do think that like Delphox is around. I saw it do well at one of the I think it did well in one of the Japanese tournaments. Maybe actually no, that might have been Armorug. In the Terra Square face off thing.
Right.
I'm gonna try to pull that up and see if I can find it. But I don't know. I feel like this Pokemon is still around. It's still a Pokemon that I see on ladder quite a bit. And it's probably closer in power level to some of the more like niche compositions. Like, okay, if you see, I think like seeing a Delphox comp is pretty comparable to seeing like a comp built around Galarian Weezing, or a comp built around like Hisui and Lilligant, right? I think those are like kind of the same tier to me. Hello? Did I cut out? Oh no. Hello? Hello? Hello, everyone. Can anyone hear me? What's going on?
It might have been Discord.
Was it
Yeah, no, that was
Maybe
Discord.
not any of us.
That was Discord.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back in Discord.
Yeah, no, you're still live and everything. So okay, cool.
That
Appreciate
was
it. Thank
so
you guys
weird.
in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.
Patty, I hope you were making good points.
Oh,
Oh,
I
my
basically
camera.
said like it's comparable to seeing like a weak Galarian Weezing team, right? You build around it, and it's like kind of a mediocre build around, but like it's not so bad that I put it in B. B is like there's some shit mons in B. All right, so we were doing
All right, let's keep it moving though. So
yeah
back to
A minus,
A
and then
minus.
who did the last one?
And I'm up.
You're up. All right,
So you did
did
it.
well.
Wait, no,
I didn't do it.
Nick did.
I moved Delphox down.
Oh, it's my turn.
Oh, okay, then it's Audi.
All right. I think Glamora's got to move down one. I don't think we've seen any Glamoras at all, basically.
No, definitely
I could
not.
see it going down to B tier. I think it's probably B tier, honestly. I have not seen this mon.
I think it's
at all.
B. I'm here for it. Like, it's kind of crazy to think Power Meat Beam. Like, it has the tools. We've cut out Pokemon to make it better. And I guess it just is seeing other things shine instead, like Sneasler. And,
Sneasler's doing his role, yeah.
yeah, so
If you want an offensive poison type, I got an offensive poison type for you.
dude, you're bumping it down to 64. That's tough.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Come on.
We're kind of in the shitmon tier, right? Like, so I'm looking at.
I see what you're saying.
Like for Delphox, right? A lot of people made D2 with it and then did not top cut with it, or lost in top 32 with it, or something like that, right? So that's kind of where that's kind of what I expected of B plus Pokemon. For Glamora, yeah, I'm looking at Glamora and like, okay, there's one in top cut of Gdansk because that was on a Dozo team. It looks like there was I don't know if this person if Karan cut Louisville or not. Or if they did, right? It's 12 rounds, yeah. So they lost in top 32.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, that's actually a little better than B. I could see it going to B plus because it actually has
It's probably
had
B plus.
a few more results than I remember. But this mon's very forgettable. I have
And
just not seen this
if
mon around.
Dozo's on the rise, then that's a really well established Dozo archetype. That's just good. So
All right, we can
Yeah,
put it B
it's
plus.
definitely not something I'm thinking about in my team building. So, now, yeah, I don't know why Mentz has been untouched for so long. You guys keep passing him by. Like, I don't know. He doesn't sit right with me there. I think he's probably just down once, just B plus. But like, has he got anything? Is he doing anything? What's he up to?
I played a Mentz top 10 on ladder in the in-game ladder, if that counts for anything.
Okay, he did not day 2 at all. Did he get any championship points? I think he got no championship points at Gdansk.
Yeah, no, there's two Mentz that have gotten top 64. One was Matt Tidd on a crazy Matt Tidd style team, and then Elliot Legros got 50th place, so he D2 with it. So yeah, X3.
Go back. What was I saying? I was advocating for B plus. Does this guy just go down to B? I think it might actually have to go down to B. This looks bad.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
No.
It's kind of rough.
Okay. Nick, you.
okay, so just from these mons, I don't know, like Hydreigon kind of sucks.
B plus or
I'm
B.
with you.
That guy's got no game. Probably B plus. It had like I don't know. It had a bunch of teams. The guys use it at Louisville, but none of them did well. And then
It literally
just
did win regionals, like in Dortmund, but
yeah,
that was a while ago.
yeah, it had a bunch of uses at Louisville, and none of them did. None of them made cut. Like there were 15 in top 256, but nobody cut with it. And then just Lille and Gdansk, we're not even bothering with that guy.
Sure.
And it's completely off the map for Gdansk, so it's probably B.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
B seems right.
Like it did do very well at Dortmund, was it? I think. But I don't know. Like, yeah, what have you done for him recently? I could see the argument for B plus because it did win a regional. Like it is, but still around. People are, and like if it's being used at a high rate, even if it's not doing well, that is something. Especially in a like I don't know. Is it being used more in NA and we just haven't had any events? But I can also see B. I'm okay with this tier
It,
list being more reactive.
it has the issue where it gets outsped and outcode by Sneasler, and that's just a lot to overcome when Sneasler's on
Yeah.
half of
Yeah.
European teams.
All right, Adi, to you.
To me, I think that honestly, is there anyone I want to move down from A minus? Let's see. Like I'm gonna pull up Vivillon because I think that's the only one that I can see that maybe wants to move down. But even that, yeah, no, this guy's got to move down. I know. I remember Juan's team, but I did not realize it had such a usage. I'm okay with this Pokemon in B plus though. I think it's still very strong. It did get top 16 into regional recently, which is better than a lot of the Pokemon we've talking about. But yeah, this guy's kind of fallen off a little bit. The on more dedicated. It's usually paired with Ursaluna Hisui, and it's kind of fallen off as a partner to that. And there's other, I guess we've seen a couple other people experiment, or we've seen exactly John Brotherston experiment with other ways of using it. But yeah, no, I think this mon is dropping down to B plus at the very least.
That seems right. It feels like on par with Flamigo in terms of like, it's strong, but not that easy to work in right now. But yeah, Adi, I'm a little offended that you just want to pass by Typhlosion. I don't think that guy's that hot right now. I think it had 2 day 2s, yes, at Gdansk. But
Yeah, no,
Where's,
I
yeah,
was
where's
just being
Joe?
a sash dog is pretty tough.
Joe's in chat right
Yeah,
now. I got a
no.
second to Louisville.
I don't know. I don't. I think this guy goes down. I don't care. I think it goes down just once.
I mean,
But
the case I was gonna make is that Typhlosion is washed, and we're now Charizard players.
right, like Charizard's taken
His role's
over.
been usurped.
No, honestly,
Typhlosion,
I still think Typhlosion is better than Charizard. I still think Typhlosion is like one of the strongest threats in the format, even if it's like maybe a little poorly positioned right now. Like you do have to respect it. It's still like very strong.
You see a Dragonite and you cry.
That is the
like-
problem with it, right? Is this Dragonite so good?
Yeah, it's just I don't think it's terribly well positioned right now.
So you want to move to B plus?
Yeah,
Because
think just
I'm
one
still
down-
I'm
just
still A
down-
minus,
I-
so Nails are the tiebreaker.
I'm really split honestly, but yeah, no, I think it probably moves down.
All right.
all right.
I'm fine with
Oh.
having it be a little bit more reactionary, the tier list.
So
It can move back up. This is not
Nick,
the
what's your thoughts? Anything in A minus that needs to be adjusted?
I mean, T-Tar is the only guy really that we haven't talked about yet. So do we think
Pretty
he's
much.
good?
I think it's good.
I think it stays. I think it stays where it is. I think
Yeah.
it's in the right spot. It's kind of funny because we had it where it was, and now it's got one big one from the team that Nils used to get first. And funnily enough, Nils immediately dropped it. Word on the street was that Nils was just dropping it because he wanted to, mess around, try some new stuff. Already auto-qualified for Worlds. So, but yeah, I don't know if anybody else was able to like carry that mantle for Tyranitar, but I still think that it's like a very
tournaments outside of Lille, like Gdansk and Louisville. So
that's what I'm saying. I think that it didn't do that hot at Gdansk.
it's probably
but
fine where it is.
It got
Yeah.
a top 16 at Louisville, which is something. It did not do well at Gdansk. But yeah, I'm okay with where it is. And just for Joe, I'll move it to the top. Typhlosion to the top of B plus because I do think it is better than every other Pokemon in B plus tier right now.
All right. Speaking of B plus, that's where we are now. And Adi, you're actually the first one up. Let's try to, we'll as we go down, go a little faster. So anybody that you just quick shots, anybody that you think needs to be moved.
So I think there's a lot of Pokemon that we are probably going to move down to B, but I do want to talk about Pokemon that we want to move up, and it's going to start with the DD male. I think that guy is really good. I think that you could argue that goes all the way up to A tier, honestly, right now. It's between A and A minus, but I think right now it's an A tier Pokemon. I think that it really is.
I think it's A.
Yeah, no, it enables the S tier guy really nicely if you want to go that route, and it's just really self-sufficient. Like if you want to disrupt its terrain, oops, your guy loses Sneasler. Figure that one out. It's just the format has figured out that it's good, and I don't think it's really going anywhere. Like it might have been. No, it's gonna end up in A. Honestly, just it does powerful stuff to the format.
If you want to try to find ones that go up first before ones that go down, um, is there anything else that I think goes up? I think I only see one Pokemon I would make a case for going up in B plus,
I hope we have the same
and
model
that
match.
is Sinistra.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so yeah, it was literally the last one in B plus. Funnily enough, not all of this is organized by strength, within the tiers, of course, but I'd say Sinistra probably to A minus. It's got a lot of like performances, like it's just got some finishes, I guess at least. It did get top 8 at Gdansk. It also had a top 16 there, and maybe a third one. I can't remember. I should just sort by Sinistra at this point. Um, let's see. No. The after that you go down a little bit lower, down to top 32. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that I know that it's largely used on like screens teams or teams featuring Archaludon. But I do think that like with me kind of harping on Amoonguss being kind of meh earlier, I do like Sinistra because I feel like it paces well at the very least. It shares a lot in common with Amoonguss being a grass type with Rage Powder, but instead of having to get off that pollen puff, you can just take half of that as a switch in effect, and sometimes that is way better.
Yeah, I mean, it's got Trick Room instead of Spore, so it's just a different broken support move, but it's a broken support
Yep.
move.
The Trick Room part is really cool.
Machagacha is an absolutely crazy attack. And it kind of doesn't do anything else, but it kind of doesn't have to because just spamming Machagacha is really efficient on a lot of boards.
Yeah,
No,
sometimes I'll just hit 2 Pokemon for resisted damage with Machagacha, not get any burns, but it heals me just enough to move me out of like, getting 2 it KO'd. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
And I mean, people complain about Dire Claw, but what if you just Machagacha burned the Sneasler,
True.
you get a lot of time to do
All right, Nick, anybody in B plus that you want to adjust up or down?
that. Yeah, no, so I'll start with the up guys. Weezing Galar. It's got like 3 good abilities. Um, have people been using it? Haven't been.
I don't
I
know
didn't
if
pick
people have
this
been
one.
using them on in general, and definitely not the other abilities, even if they are seeming cool in theory right now. No, both gas
Okay.
at Gdansk.
It had one in top cut here in the last 3
Okay, it
regionals.
really hasn't had recent results. I guess that one's gonna have to stay on the back burner.
I think that
I
stays
was
B+.
gonna fight it, but yeah, I think it's
No,
good where it's
it
at.
just hasn't had the results yet.
It's
Nick's just seeing
type
the
Mon-
future, guys. So if you
it's
want,
it's a mon to watch out for.
right.
But yeah, no, it hasn't actually done anything yet.
Mhm.
The results based tier list cannot move it up.
So Nick, we'll let you take another swing really
Yeah.
quick if you have another one.
Is it fine to move Excadrill up next to T-Tar, or that's probably not something that's worth
I
doing, I guess?
do think it's like a tier worse. I don't know.
Yeah, it
What
probably
do you
is.
think, Adi?
You can't use Excadrill without T-Tar, and you can definitely use
Yeah.
T-Tar without Excadrill.
That's pretty much it.
Excadrill is a B+ Pokemon. It's like a classic B+ Pokemon. Look at all the like Pokemon that like we see Lilligant, we see Delphox, we see Armarouge, we see all these guys that are so dependent on one partner specifically to be a good Pokemon and are only seen on one archetype here. And that's kind of like where I see Excadrill as well. So I think it's in the right spot.
Yeah, okay. Just looking for anybody else that
You can also do move
up,
down
and
if you got move downs. I know you got some of those.
I do have some of those. Let's see. Has Arcanine done anything?
No. Good question.
Cool.
The Hoge brothers were using Arcanine at the tournament before at Lille.
Okay. Yeah.
So you'll see that there. But
A top cut.
yeah, then they immediately dropped it. They immediately dropped it and replaced it with Dozo Tatsugiri and got rid of the Amoonguss as well. So and we're better for it, I think. I don't think the Mon is hot. I think that they were trying something. I'd be fine to put that down to B.
Okay.
Moving it down to B. I feel like it's
tough.
a B.
I mean, it's
B
kind of
tier
funny that
Pokemon.
it was doing. It was doing better with all the guys. I don't know. Weird.
Maybe.
Just like Rock Slide is not a valuable tool in this metagame.
It isn't.
Well,
No.
it's actually quite good into specifically Dragonite is like really good. But it's not very good into Sneasler. It's not very good into It's worse than every other fire type into Goldie. It's not great into King Gambit, Arcaludon stuff. Like, yeah, it's hard to position.
Dozo shreds it, Rain shreds it. Like,
Yeah.
it just kind of has a
Yeah.
bad time into a lot of what's popular right now. It gets
All right.
outsped by NDD Mail.
Yeah.
It loses to both the bears. It doesn't like Defiant boosting the Annihilate. Like, it just kind of gets shredded by A tier.
So,
It can stand
How
up
do you
to
take a
both for a
stab?
while.
B
wait.
plus. What do you got? Anybody you want to adjust?
So the only Pokemon that I would consider moving up, and I don't think that I really want to move it up, is Grimmsnarl, because Grimmsnarl's actually had a pretty bad streak of events, but there was a period of time where I would consider moving it up. I know I'm going to move up Klefki later on, but I think Gengar's got to move down. We would shit on Gengar, and it's gotten 0 results. Move that shit down to the bottom of B tier. That shit's all. In fact, I can move it down to B minus
Dude,
tier.
is it even? No, I think it could go down below. Like I'm not seeing that Pokemon. So.
I have not. I can't remember the last time I saw a Gengar. I should double check the results.
It has not done anything.
You could bump that
Correct.
shit down to 64. Oh, you have it at 60. Ooh.
Yep. It's in B minus. I'm sorry. It's
There's a lot better ghosts. There's a lot better poisons. Gengar, where the power creep is real. Anyways, Adi, let's just grab this one now because we can just jump around a little bit. I don't want to move Grimmsnarl from B plus, but you can put Klefki right next to it. I do think that
Cool.
they can be hand in hand options. They have different strengths. Grimmsnarl has the ability to hit a little bit harder with its foul play or its spirit break, whereas Klefki has that, better natural typing. Well, I don't know. Grimmsnarl is also immune to like other pranksters, so that's pretty cool. And dragon moves. I guess they're both immune to dragon moves. Whoops. But Klefki has the immunity to Dire Claw, so yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they're used instead of each other. Regardless, yeah, I think they stay in B plus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait. Are we allowed to grab guys who belong with their buddies?
If you want to grab one, just suggest it. We can just jump. We can get a little bit more hectic here now that we're like starting to move past like B.
Yeah, so
we're
I
in
want to
B,
put Charizard next to his buddy Typhlosion.
Ooh,
They just
where's
do the same
Charizard? Oh, it's
role.
all the way in C tier. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to put it next to Typhlosion?
Yeah, they're the fast guy that sits next to a Torkoal and clicks the funny fire buttons.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Sure. It's actually had more results than I thought it did. That's reasonable.
Yeah, no, it's had like pretty solid results. I think the current stance is jury is out on which one is better.
Yeah, that sounds right. I want to grab Murkrow and put it down to B. Just like, I don't know, people aren't really using that
Sure.
guy.
and while we're at it, can I go ahead and grab Palmot and put it down to B as well? Like that guy's also just not being used.
You could drop it further, is what I was going to say, but I don't know.
Yeah.
B might be its home. Has anybody used Palmot?
Jackson
One
cut
person.
with the variant of the Wolf team that had Palmot on it originally back in Baltimore. So it cut a regional, right? I don't know if that means that a lot of the Pokemon in B, we're gonna have to move some Pokemon down from B, but I think it's probably a B tier Pokemon. Honestly, it's better than B plus, than B minus.
Okay, now I'm just glancing through B plus. Como has been doing somewhat all right for itself, but I think it just stays where it's at.
Yeah.
Gastrodon probably also stays. It's doing just fine. Like, not amazing or anything.
Kamoa's got a lot of results. I would consider moving that thing up. Look, like this is a lot of people doing well with Kamoa.
Those are also pretty good ones. I'd be happy to put that in A minus. Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay, Gastro I think could probably stay, and like with Juan Salerno's finish, people do respect Juan Salerno as a strong player, so I think that you might see some copycats there. And yeah, everything else just seems fine in B plus, so I'd be happy to start moving down towards the chaos that is the B tiers. And I think for these ones, I don't really care about. We're not going to demote anybody from B, in my opinion. I think that
there's some people we might want.
You want to demote people?
I mean,
you can. I mostly just wanted to rescue people from the. Sure. We can demote from B.
I also
the last one we.
I do want to suggest that we move Lilligant down one because Lilligant has just not seen any play at all. That guy, even on the size span,
I'm here for it.
Not been around. In fact, it's been outclassed by a Pokemon that we probably should go ahead and rescue right now. Where did Eggy go? Executor, baby.
Executor.
Executor, the best sleep pattern. the best grass type, the best. Where are we putting Executor? That guy got top
I think
4
it's still
and
B.
top 8.
It
Yeah.
can go in B, but good finish.
I don't
good
think it
finish.
goes in B plus.
I mean, it has objectively gotten better results than every single Pokemon in B plus, other than maybe Typhlosion and Charizard. Like,
Yeah,
it's gotten multiple top 8s at this point. How do I spell this thing?
if you can spell it.
If I can spell it. Like, it got 2 top 8s, which is, granted, there's only 2 usages, 3 usages, but like, really, maybe, like, it might.
I still wanted to be Nick. Where do you feel?
B plus.
Oh, shit. All right.
I wanted to be a hater. The results are there.
Just put it with all the other ones. No, put it to the right a little bit. No, not those ones, but to the right with the other ones.
What do you mean? It gets to go with the other Torkoal.
Size fam, guys.
No, the size. It's go next to the expanders. Yeah, put it with the expanders.
Okay.
They rely on the same Pokemon, honestly, or like this, like similar Pokemon, but I think it's I don't know. Anyways,
it's a size
all right.
guy, not a fire sun guy.
I thought you were going to suggest Jumpluff, which I think Jumpluff can come up to B plus. I don't think I'm so passionate about it that it needs to be an A minus. It's like it's a little. I mean, it's very inflexible. It's not like it has some move variability that I can mess around with, but it's going to be on very static comps. Yeah, it's a Torkoal team every time. So,
I agree with
that. All right, Nick. Anybody in B that you want to adjust?
Have we seen Kanto and Ninetales do anything?
No, you could probably bump that down.
It won a midseason showdown with Leafy on. Does that count?
That's awesome for it. I love that. Kanto.
All right. Well, we're
okay. So Adi.
Okay, we're killing Pokemon from B tier. All right. What else in B tier has not seen any results? Has Gothitelle seen a single result? It's probably better than everything in B minus still, even if it hasn't. Weezing Kanto. I'm down to move Weezing Kanto down. I don't think I've seen a single Weezing Kanto ever.
Probably. I mean, pick Labnos and make sure, but yeah.
We could check. At this point,
I'm down to look at Weezing because
at this point, yeah, we maybe have it to move to top 128.
Get him out of here.
Just to start, because now we're talking about some shit mons. It hasn't got a single top
that
128.
Is tough.
Yeah, get it.
Okay, goodbye. All right, I'll take a stab at one. Do you guys? I think back should go up. Where should it stop? Probably just B plus. It's been used pretty well by Joan Garcia. Got a top 4 with it. Other people have taken it and run with it. So I think it's probably not
that's
so
a lot of
dominant.
Oh, this is top 128, right? That's.
I don't know if it could be A minus. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's probably just B plus. I guess we'll leave it to Adi then. Adi, do you have a thought?
I think it is probably pretty similar to Komodo in terms of its strength. I mean, it's a different Pokemon, but like, yeah, I think it does have a glaring Sneasler weakness. It is a scale shot mon, just like Dragonite, so it has some of the same strengths as well. You get one scale shot off, and then you outspeed Sneasler, and Icicle Spear is a much better abuser. It just has better coverage. I'm okay with it in A minus. I think it's an A minus Pokemon. I think it's on the upswing right now.
It does outspeed Dragonite and scale shot it for a kill, and that's
that is cool.
It also can get around the accuracy. Like having the 100% accurate Icicle Spear probably helps some people get over the scale shot stuff. So yeah, I'm fine with it in A minus.
All right, Nick. Anybody in B you want to take a shot at?
Yeah, Decidueye.
This guy.
Damn, dude, that guy was the GOAT. No, that one. That was the GOAT of early format, dude. People were so convinced it was his time.
It was never his time. They were coping.
Unfortunate.
Try 128. Okay, yeah.
Okay. There's two people who made
I still support the demotion, but like, yeah, tough.
All right, 2 day 2 is not
never
enough.
Been good. Can we go back and look at those teams? Like, you just need talent on it, or it doesn't work. Yep. Like, it wants to fighting move the Goldengo, but it's base 60 speed, and so you just it's so inflexible. Mon sucks.
Yeah.
All
right. Some other Pokemon.
A lot of better grass types, a lot of better fighting types. Adi, what do you got?
Braviary has got to go down. I'm sorry, this guy has just not seen any usage at all. I mean,
you don't even have to look that one up.
Yep. Alex, you're up. And what's next?
Yeah. I think the Quacker's got to go. I know you like the Quacker, but bring it
Sure.
down.
It's Decidueye tier. Nails, what do you got?
Nick?
Gallade probably moves up, right?
Does it? Has it done something?
Um,
It had. I
I
saw
mean,
it
it's
had a.
top four Louisville.
That's true. Okay.
It's,
It was on the Eggy team.
It was on the Eggy team that it did pretty well there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it has the same results as Eggy, so it goes next to Eggy.
Sure, that's reasonable. Yeah.
Actually, no, it has
no.
it has more results than Eggy. It had a couple of top 32s without Eggy.
It is with the size spam guys.
But that doesn't mean it goes higher. I'm okay putting it there.
It goes
Yeah,
right
sure.
next to all the other size spam abusers. This is just the size spam tier right here.
Yep.
I do know that Quacker did well in the GC, but I don't know.
Shout out to Sempra.
Okay, so for me though, looking at B, I think most everybody else I'm just like fine with. Samurott was the last one I think I wanted to ask the question about because I do had a solid finish with it and made it look really impressive. I tried it out; it felt terrible, and so I don't know.
No.
How do you guys feel about Samurott? Is it in the right place?
It's in the right place. Every single time I look at a Samurott Calc, I am disappointed. It's one of those Pokemon that, it checks so many boxes in team building, and I think Edu is like a checkbox team builder, which is why he used it. But it's just not a good Pokemon. It just doesn't do nearly enough, and so I'm pretty comfortable with keeping it in B. Had the one top cut, but yeah, other than that, basically no results at all.
All right, Audie,
Okay.
it's time for rescue time then. So
do we-
looking at
Wait,
B
Do
minus.
we want to move Serena and Fire Tauros are the other two mons that I was looking at. As
Wait,
mons that
no,
move down.
I had a guy.
Oh, go for it.
Can we pick up
Go ahead, Nick.
the Kilowattrel results? What's that guy done lately?
Dude, I believe in this guy. All right, don't sleep
Yeah,
on
and I
this
don't.
stupid
Get him
bird,
out of here.
man. Oh my God, no!
The-
Don't take him
Get the bird
down,
out of
Nick.
here.
It's like literally, he's literally gonna win LAIC. Please, I know.
Yeah, and he can go back up once he does that. My reaction on tier list is not let this guy stick and be.
Okay, tell you what. But then we also have to move Breloom down as well.
That guy's kind of shit too.
I don't know.
No,
I
Breloom
think
could
that
definitely move
I think
down.
that these guys are about the right tier. I think they have I think these are Pokemon
I
that do
agree.
something specific. They have high potential. Like they do have a niche in the metagame. I'm scared when I see a Kilowattrel team preview. Like I'm not.
I'm not.
It's honestly.
I skill shot it and it dies.
It's the scariest
No,
fast
dude,
tail.
Actually,
it is,
same thing for Breloom. They're both Focus Sash guys who died to one scale shot. They moved down a tier because Dragonite got popular.
I just think
No, me
it's-
and Audie want them where they are.
No, I
Me and
think it's
Audie
fine.
want them where they are.
'Cause,
So I
like,
think they're staying.
there's
Ah.
there's other guys that fit kind of the same description that I think are in B tier. So I think I'm pretty comfortable with it in B tier. The two Pokemon.
The Focus Sash guys who are faster than Dragonite and do something to it are all in a higher tier. Like
Yeah,
we've got
pretty much.
Vivian, we've
Except
got
for this guy. Except for Meow.
Jumpluff, who sometimes has a sash, but yeah.
So I wanted to talk
Okay,
about
Audie,
Serena and Fire Tauros. Those were the two Pokemon I saw, and I
Yes.
think that maybe should move down. I don't think either of them have had any results. Nothing for Serena.
No.
And okay, Tauros had a couple 5-3s. I'm pretty comfortable moving both of them down.
Yeah, they can both go. They can both go. They can both go down.
can
That's
slide down.
fine.
Okay. I'm pretty comfortable with everything else in B tier. I know that Chandelure is probably also Breloom Gothitelle tier, and I'm pretty comfortable leaving it here.
Does Lord go up? I guess one last one.
Farigiraf.
Sorry.
Farigiraf could go up because it won a special event. It won the Lima event, right? It's been
No,
around.
it stays where it is.
Okay, sure.
I think that guy sucks. So I'm
Does
not gonna-
Corviknight stay where it is, or does it go up?
Good question.
It probably goes up.
It did win a
I don't
regional.
know if that's true.
Okay, no, this Pokemon has high enough usage that it should go up.
Yeah, it should go up.
Okay, go up just once. Just once. Nothing crazy.
It's Flamigo tier.
Yep. Okay. So
Okay,
yeah,
rescues.
just taking a quick glance over. I want Metagross up once. I know only Drew has used it.
Sure.
I still think he's like really good into Indeedee Sneasler. People need to try it.
I believe it. I'm okay with moving Metagross up. I'm okay with moving Toadscruel up one. It cut
sure.
cut another regional. Jackson cuts the
People are
global
continuing
regionals.
to use it. Yeah,
It's
I'm
been
fine with
around.
it.
for rescues.
Mimikyu.
Mimikyu.
Down at the bottom of B minus. B minus.
Oh,
I
is it
think that
B
it goes
minus?
up to probably just
Yeah.
B. I know that Nora used it for a pretty solid finish. It looked cool there.
Mhm.
Yeah, play rough, sneak and pick up Sneasler. It's got like lines.
Front loaded
It's like-
sash is cool.
Let's see. I noticed a Pokemon dead at the bottom that I picked out ahead of time. Let's see. Is Oricorio fighted C? I think that was fine.
Oh, there's Yanmega.
Yanmega. Yeah, yeah.
Yanmega
Okay.
from Wolf
So these are the
there.
Pokemon I picked out at the very bottom that I thought might need to move up. I guess we could start with Blastoise. Did make D2 at a regional. Do we move that up to C from D tier? I think that might be C tier.
That sounds.
Yeah.
Actually, you can put it in B plus, or
Yeah.
not B plus, the lower one, B
B
minus.
minus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Blastoise is real. It's got stuff it does.
And then
Where's Prinplup? That's
where's
true.
Prinplup?
Where is
Good.
Prinplup?
Yo. Okay. We can add Prinplup. How do I?
No, don't add Prinplup, man.
Okay. So the unranked Pokemon that did well at events that we need to talk about, starting with Yanmega. Of course, Wolf used it. What do we think about Yanmega? How far do we move it up?
I'm still pretty impressed with
B
it. Like there was,
B?
people fell off of Wolf's team relatively quickly. But I fought it like in my private testing this past week, and it was still kind of annoying me. I was just like, dang, this thing's like decent. So I'd be happy to actually put it at one above that. I don't know what the results are going to look like, but yeah, those are enough. I feel like you put it in B minus. I think it's just solid B.
You think it's B? That's fair. I think if we're talking about Kilowattrel as a B tier Pokemon, I think it's pretty comparable to that, right?
Yeah, they're Tailwind guys.
Like it gets yes, Wolf used
Gliscor
it.
though, I don't feel as passionately about.
Gliscor is viable.
I mean,
That's as far as I'll put it. I
think
think it goes up to maybe C tier. It has seen some success, but it hasn't seen a lot of success, right? And that is more than I can say about.
I'll give you Blastoise tier for it. I'll give you Blastoise tier for it. You can go one up more. Like I don't want it to go too far. It's not that crazy, but like it was really funny when somebody pointed out though, like, hey, this thing can take Dire Claw and then also like dual wing beat. The high horsepower with its speed stats really good. It's like, damn, it actually does have a toolkit. I just don't know if you can make it work. Scyther in D. I think Scyther can probably stay in D. I was trying it out on ladder on stream, and honestly, it was genuinely impressing me. You could put it up to C, but I'm not that passionate about it. It's just like a D to C, like whatever.
I was so upset when I found out that Scyther didn't learn knockoff. I was so excited. I was like, this is the Pokemon that I need. It has speeds Dragonite. It knocks it off. It lives the attack. It dual wing beats the Sneasler. It's got everything I need it to do. It doesn't learn knockoff.
No.
It's
all right.
Oricorio up a tier.
No, I think it's C tier. It hasn't done anything.
I don't think it needs to.
Okay, fine.
You had Flapple. Was that one you wanted to talk about or no?
Flapple made it to it a regional, right? That means it's viable.
Yeah, you're right. It can exist in like D or C instead of unranked.
Poliwrath top cut a regional in Latam. It gets to move up as well. We'll put it in D tier.
Sure.
I don't respect.
Yeah, it's got to be worse than Bass, right? It resists Sucker Punch. Okay.
Avalugg. We saw an Avalugg on stream. That
somebody was talking about.
Must be good, right?
Was it that one or was it the other one?
Was it not Heesween Avalugg? I thought it was Heesween.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know which one it was.
Anyways, I'll put it in D tier because we saw it once. Reuniclus?
Reuniclus was there.
I definitely
honestly like this Pokemon's. I'd give it up one more.
You think it's
you
B
can
minus?
go B minus. I'm fine with it.
All right.
It's on par with the other guys that are there, but anyways.
All right. The Leafeon that was next to the Ninetales that won a midseason
showdown. It won the midseason showdown. No. Put it in D.
50 points.
50 baby.
What else are we missing? I think that was I did a brief look through of all the unranked Pokemon, all the D tier Pokemon, and those were the ones that I noticed that maybe deserve to move up. I don't really see anything else that I think we need to change. I don't think anything else has had impressive results recently. But if you see something, let me know.
Yeah. I'm looking.
Yeah,
I'm doing my best to investigate.
And also, chat, if you think there's some Pokemon that we missed out on, do let us know if there's anything that needs to be rescued. Guardian C or D, please. It's at least decent in GC formats. I'll give you C
sure.
Guardian.
Where do we have a Guardian?
Where is? Oh, there it is,
Gen
right there,
3,
middle of the screen. Yeah, your mouse is literally on it. There it is. You can give it C, sure.
Sure. Well, you know what? While we're at it, Alolan Golem. That's like Avalugg tier. You know, it can explode. I saw it on Cybertron's channel.
Guess. I don't know.
So someone went undefeated in Swiss at I think an Indiana midseason showdown with it, and then lost in top 4.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's got to be.
wait, was this that like really stupid team?
Yes, the really stupid team.
Like, and there was like a lot of like there was like some really like a really bad Eviolite Pokemon on it too. I don't remember. It was like really bad.
But
someone sent me it.
It was cool. That's all that matters, right? It's D tier.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's go. Can we scroll up a little bit? Because I don't think I'm actually seeing anybody I want to rescue, but I want to figure out who I want to like Calc is right, because that's what's coming up next, right?
Well, we got the LAIC preview that's up next.
That's true. It's true. We do have to talk about that.
So I guess we should probably wrap this
I beat
up.
Jody at the GC.
I got my Calc is right from somebody in the unranked tier.
Oh hell yes, you do.
All right. With that, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I don't see any other Pokemon that I want to move around. And so this is our new tier list for the month of November. And of course, I'm excited for LAIC this upcoming weekend to absolutely smash our tier list and prove to everyone that that's something we did not expect at all is actually very, very good. Kind of like Charizard and Jumpluff kind of showed off.
I'm telling you, Kilowatt Drill's easily B+, not B. You'll see, Nick.
No, that guy sucks.
There's a lot of Pokemon in here that I think have a lot of potential and are being a little underused right now. But again, this is a very results-based tier list so far, and I just haven't, I was talking up Typhlosion. I think Typhlosion is a Pokemon that's just very good. It's just very inherently powerful. It just hasn't seen a lot of play. And meta trends haven't been kind to it, but that could shift very quickly, right? So we talk about Delphox, we talk about the Psy Spam guys as Pokemon that a little underused, or the flavor of the week, Eggy instead of Delphox, instead of Hatterade, instead of Armorogue, like they all kind of cycle in and out of the metagame. There's a lot of Pokemon here that I think could do a lot better. We talked about Kilowattrel, talked about Yin Mega having his time in the sun. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the meta develops, and I'm looking forward to the Latin American Internet and Sacramento Regionals to shake this back up. Looking forward to the next tier list in December, probably before Toronto Regionals. We will do another tier list and see how the meta shakes up once again.
Stockholm as well. If we're talking about events that are going to happen during the cycle that we're waiting for, I think Stockholm is happening in Europe at some point. Then might be in time. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'll also be reflected on there probably. Rescue Halucha, that's true. I remember seeing that one team with it. But yeah, let's go ahead and preview LAIC. I don't actually know how many people are going to be doing this tournament. I don't know if we know the numbers at all. Let's have a look.
I'm sure we got people in chat who are registered. If anyone can tell us the number of people who are signed up on Arcanine, that'd be dope. Because none of us are going, I think. Nils, you're not going, are you?
I wanted to, but I did not sign up. So.
Yeah.
So
it did cap, but we don't actually know the capacity, which is a little sad. Yeah, I guess what else do we want to talk about here? Do we have the casters? We got Evan, Costa, Necra, and Aaron Zhang. So that's gonna be a fun cast. It's always funny that they bring they brought one European over. They're like, no, we're just doing Americans. It would be cool.
It's not like.
Go ahead.
I
was gonna say it would be cool.
I was gonna go on a different note here, but anyways.
Okay, I guess I was gonna say it would be cool if they brought in at least one LATAM commentator for the Latin American Internets. I know they have people they like to work with, but it would be cool to see a little more representation from LATAM. A lot of them make a lot of great content and would love the opportunity. And they do grassroots streams and whatnot. So I'm a little disappointed with that, but obviously all four of these casters are excellent. So it'll be a fun event to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be a big spectator one for us, at home. But yeah, I wonder actually how good the hours are for us for watching this one live.
It'll 321 Streets at 12 UTC. It's like that's 7 a.m., maybe 8 a.m. I'm not depending on whether they had daylight savings time.
For Central?
For Eastern.
For Eastern. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that means that gets a lot earlier for me. Ooh.
I know the GMT time zone is not the UTC time zones, and I know that changes with daylight savings time, which makes it all that more confusing. So
yeah.
But yeah, really sometime around that. Maybe I'll wake up early and restream it. Normally, what I'll end up doing is starting midway through probably, but we'll see. We'll see how it feels.
Yeah. Definitely really excited to watch this one though, and since it's a Friday tournament, then yeah, I might might join you on that one for instead of like my usual Friday stream. Just watch some of this because this is going to be the biggest thing going on this weekend in terms of VGC. Now
we do see in chat,
this is the first one.
583 people registered. That includes juniors and seniors normally. So looking at around 500 players probably for the Masters division.
Oh wait, what is that? What does that mean if you're sub 500? I remember that meant something. If you could scroll down, actually go to that page, Adi. If you go back to the Victory Road page, it should have the information you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, down there.
The kicker for top 256 is 513 players, so we might just barely miss the top 256 CP cutoff.
I don't think it's going to be barely. I think it's going to be well under if it's at 580 something with the well, actually, how many juniors and seniors are there?
That's a good question.
Okay, you know what? I'm back to it's close range. You know what? That sounds right.
But also, it's hard. It's a hard event to get to, right? And so if people miss their flights, things come up. Like it's also just I think that will lead to attrition. There's no refunds, stuff like that. So normally we see about 10% of people not show up, but that doesn't include juniors and seniors. And so I think we're going to be under, which honestly.
Definitely.
Good. The fewer people who get championship points, the more likely I am to make worlds, right? So
that's true. That's true. As
you don't need to get 100 points for top 256. Oh. get your top 128 or don't get anything at all.
True. I'm with you. But yeah, so this is the first internats with the new structure as well. I don't think this means anything in particular. I'm just mentioning it because it's kind of like interesting. We've had it at regionals and worlds at this point, but technically this is the first internationals to feature our new structure.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, I guess let's talk about the history of it because we had this tournament 1 year ago, and it was won by Marco Fierro, who is like literally coming off of a second at the most recent major, but won this thing a year ago. So currently defending champ. And also breaker of a very hilarious streak. I don't know, hilarious depending on who you ask, because NA had won this tournament every year that it had existed as a international, tournament. And so it was won by Ashton, Carson, then Ashton, then James, and Marco, finally the first non NA American player to win it. Pretty funny. He also got his second win here too. He has won multiple internats. Ashton has also won multiple internats, but it was here twice. A lot of like funny stats about this one. So really curious to see how that one's going to play out. But yeah, I guess then we have smart money, right?
We do have smart money.
And so, yeah, there's a lot of good picks for this one based on, how Buenos Aires went, how Gdansk and Louisville went, if you're, looking at players that you expect to travel. And so starting with you, Nick, who do you have as smart money?
I get the entire board. I'm going to take first overall pick, Michael Kelsch.
MDB?
Yeah.
It's funny because I just changed the... I don't think it's too bad to say he was our original guest when he couldn't make it. So it was just funny that I forgot to change MDB's smart money guess to Nails now. But Nails is going to be guessing MDB. Anyways, Adi, I had you next because I thought I might be hosting.
He's going to show up.
I guess you get to go next, Alex.
Yeah, right. I was. What were my two picks? I had multiple. One being a very boring Marco Fierro pick who literally won the thing last time. But the thing is, like, he's in good form right now. He got like a top 16 at Lille, a second at Gdansk. So it's like, why wouldn't I pick the person who's won this thing before? Yeah, you're supposed to be smart. The other one I would go for is Juan Salerno, who just also got second. But I think I'm gonna take Marco. It's gonna be Marco Fierro. Adi, who do you want?
All right, you got Marco. I got another player who just got second at a regional. Coming off a second place finish at the Lille regionals. He is so consistent at internats, just incredibly. He's like top 8 at every single internats he goes to. I'm picking, it's Victor Medina, it's Torviv.
Good pick.
We're all picking Europeans. I guess that just goes to show you that maybe EU is actually better than NA. No NA players who were Does anyone know if Wolf is going? He might be our only our only shot.
Right.
I expect that he is.
No, it's just kind of funny.
I don't know.
Because we were just talking about how like NA always wins this thing, but with Marco breaking it, now we're just like, we can't really use that rule anymore.
The format's in a really European feeling spot. Like it feels stale, and that's where the Europeans shine.
Dude, they love stale. You're right.
That being said, there's a lot of North American players going to this event. Just because it is so close, it's relatively cheap as far as flights go compared to flights from Europe. And somehow at internets, we always see some random American dude get to finals. Like it just keeps happening, right? We saw Tim do it last year. We saw Patrick win NASC last year, right? So especially when NA gets to
do it at EUIC, like yeah.
Who
True.
is that guy?
So many random Americans.
So I would not.
Gavin and Alberto.
Like, yeah, I mean, legitimately, like, the thing about NA is that it's very, very deep. We just have so many players who are capable of top cutting internets, and so, especially with this expanded cut format where your matchups and your dire claw luck and your scale shot luck and all that stuff is gonna play more of a factor than ever. With having more players who can make top cut is gonna be a big factor, and so it is kind of a crapshoot to see who wins. It would not shock me to see multiple Americans top cut, but I just have no idea who those players will be.
Also, don't forget the local players, the defending region players. I think that there's a lot of strong names there, like Alberto, or not Alberto. I was gonna say Agati, but somebody mentioned Alberto earlier. But yeah, Agati, Juan Salerno, as I mentioned, and I also believe who was it that won Buenos Aires?
Javier 9-1 Buenos Aires.
Yeah, Javier. Like I feel like Javier is probably going to be in attendance, absolutely, and looking in good shape. So, yeah, a lot of strong local picks as well.
Paul Ruiz is an excellent player, who's also from LATAM. There's so many good Peruvian players from LATAM. You got like Jean Paul. I don't know. I think he still plays. You got Renzo, right? So like, yeah, there's a lot of LATAM players who I could definitely see doing well. But genuinely, like, the number of LATAM players who I could see winning this event is fewer than the number of American players I could see going to this event, even though there are more LATAM players in attendance. So that's the just because.
Okay, do we have to? If we have to get some LATAM representation on the smart money, I'll take Sedas.
So yeah. So
true.
Swap him in.
Okay, do it. But yeah, what was I gonna say? As somebody who's just been on the bench like this whole season, haven't been to any major tournaments, like Regulation H has just been so much fun to watch. And I also think it's fun to play, but obviously I haven't played it at the highest level yet. Really, really excited to watch this one.
Played
this
the
weekend.
GC, right?
And then, of course, that's like, well, sure. I don't know. That's not a regional. But yeah, definitely excited to talk about that one next week. But let's go ahead and move on, to the final segment here. Calc is right. So, yeah, we all know the rules here. We all know how this one goes. If you're in the chat and you don't know how this one goes, or YouTube or whatever, but we're just going to be, proposing calcs to each other and creating hypothetical situations, and we have to figure out how well we know our stuff and if we can guess a number within the range of, kind of like this example one here, Obama Snow Blizzard versus Obama Snow. If you guessed, like, I'd say that Obama Snow Blizzard is going to do like, 40% to another Obama Snow, you'd get the point. If you said something more like 50, then it wouldn't count. It's all just for fun. And who wants to start? I have one if we're ready.
Sounds like you're ready.
Okay. So I was looking through the tier list, and one guy that I did recommend we bump up, I want to test his stuff. It's Metagross. So Metagross, it seems really cool into these scale shot D Knights. It's really good into Sneasler and Deity. Or is it? So I want to know, how much does it take from just a close combat? I know that they also run Terra Dark Throat Chop, and we could look at that one, but I want to know if it's just a regular old Sneasler close combating. Let's say it's Jolly Sneasler, 252, versus max HP 4 defense Metagross. How much is it taking from a close combat?
I got a number.
Okay. Go ahead and plug it in then. Oh, wait, no. Don't plug it in yet. You gotta give me your guesses. Nick, start.
Okay, so you said Jolly, so I'm gonna say that it does about 54.
54. Okay, Adi, what do you
Yeah,
got?
that is right on what I had. I had 56%. I think it just barely 2 shots.
That's funny because we also got a 55 guess in the chat. So if either you guys are all right or all wrong, it's awesome. I'm excited.
All right, we got.
It could be that only some of you are right if it's on the brink, but
Oh no, none of us are right. It's actually doing. If it's Jolly
Yeah.
Caesar,
Ah,
43.8 to 51.8.
honestly,
job,
I still
Metagross.
count this as a Metagross L. I would love to, take this attack better. It's neutral, and we're like, a huge defense stat, like a 130 defense stat. I know our HP isn't the best, but damn, that's still kind of sad to see.
No, you can intimidate that, and it gets really, really manageable. You're killing it
Yeah,
back.
or
so,
coach your Metagross.
True.
Yeah.
With your own Caesar.
No, honestly, that
Um,
guy can stand up to it.
Yeah, it's taking the hit pretty well. Terra Dark Throat Chop, I do believe, does over half, so you might have to do something else about that one.
Oh, I can check too.
Yeah, might as well look. Why not?
Yeah, you take 60,
Yeah.
65 to 77. That's not great.
You still live
Mhm.
2 of them with intimidate though.
That's true.
You can take 2 with Intimidate or a coaching boost.
Mhm.
We're basically back to the close combat calc here. Anyways, though, who's next? Who's got one?
I mean, I got one. I'm
All
ready
right.
to go.
Go for it, Nick.
Let's go.
So yeah, we were looking at the low tier sweep and the viability rankings, and I saw Scissor in the bottom. He's currently unranked, so I was curious, like, what can that guy do to a Sneasler? So let's throw a Life Orb and throw a Terra on there. We're Terra stealing our Scissor, and how much is that doing to Sneasler?
Dude, it better kill or we're dying in return.
Life Orb, Terra
But
Steel.
does
What
it
was the
kill?
attack?
Max attack,
Bullet
of course.
What was the attacking
And,
move?
Bullet Punch.
Bullet Punch into Sneasler.
Sorry, I suppose I didn't explicitly say Bullet Punch, but yeah, that's the scissor. That's the scissor button.
We're
that
talking
care
about Scissor here.
Wait, are you
I didn't
technician
know I needed to
or
mention that.
are you light metal? Are you swarmed?
Great question. Great question. Not
um,
Hisui scissor. It's a Johto scissor.
wait, there's a
Scissor Johto, of course.
It-
man, wait, Scissor does need a
I got my number.
That'd be kind of sick. Wait, we do have one. Sorry,
Yeah,
you said
Crazy, right?
you said I forgot Cleaver was a Pokemon. You said Choice Band, right?
Right.
It's Life Orb.
No, Life Orb.
Life Orb. You said Terra Steel. I forgot
It's
the
Terra
entire thing.
Steel, Adamant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
Technician.
Technician, Life Orb, Terra Steel. All right, I got a number.
Okay, Adi, what's your number?
I think it misses the KO, but I think it gets real close. I'm gonna say 92.
Alex, what you got?
Man, maybe I'm counting out the old the old praying mantis a little too hard. I had 84
Okay, plug it in.
Alright, let's give it a Life Orb.
because it just takes
Terra
physical
Steel.
attacks like just well enough. Sneasler.
Ooh, so Life Orb, Adamant, 252 attack, Terra Steel, Scissor, Bullet Punch is doing 94.8 to 113. It's getting the KO.
Oh dang, Adi,
most
did
of
you
the
say
time.
94?
No, I said 92.
No, Adi said 92.
Oh, so
You
you're
guys
still
did
on
not
it.
respect his game. He doesn't consistently get there, but he kills it most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it does 99
after
Hell yeah,
every
just
time.
give this guy a Chen Pao. Just give this guy a Chen Pao and everything's solved.
Just hit the focus sash and you're in business. Maybe you get a feint in there or something.
Sure. Hey, you can
Yep,
run
yep.
Fate. I'm sure it gets Fate, right? You run Fate.
It did in past gens. I don't know if it lost
It needs Steel Gem, true.
It really
Steel
does need
would
Steel
save
Gem.
it.
Give it quick attack. All right, my turn. I've got a guy. So in the past when Dragonite was good, we always had one solution to beating Dragonite. Really, only one solution to beating Dragonite, and that is the ultimate Dragonite counter. It is Tinkaton. And so I gotta ask you. Let's say for a second this Dragonite, it got a scale shot off, and you have not broken multi-scale, so it's at -1 defense, but it does have multi-scale active. And you have a Tinkaton, and you Gigaton Hammer that shit. You are just you have to be jolly. You have to be jolly, but you are 252 attack, jolly Tinkaton, no boosting item. How much are you doing to Dragonite?
What
Wait,
ability are we
multi-scale's
on this
active, and
Tinkaton?
are we Mold
No,
Breaker?
what ability?
Oh yeah, you are. You are
I
Mold
mean,
Breaker,
I
yeah.
thought you were going for the trick question angle, and Alex and I both
Yeah,
sniffed it out.
I forgot it had a second
Like,
ability.
you're
Yeah,
not getting
no,
one over enough.
yeah. No, you are. Okay, that actually, I totally forgot it had Mold Breaker. We're gonna take away the -1. It just outspeeds. It's max speed Jolly, ticket 10, just hitting a neutral Dragonite. Let's say 4 HP, 4 defense Dragonite, and max attack Jolly, ticket 10. I totally forgot that. I was like, Mold Breaker.
Okay, so
Wait,
we're
no, I
using Mold Breaker
thought he was
now, and we're
going
not
for the
intimidated.
mix-up.
Unintimidated, yeah, somehow.
Okay, so we're unintimidated, and we got off of coaching
Dragonite.
to offset it. Of course, we coached our Tinkaton.
We're actually clearing it. That's why we don't have a boost.
Now, and so we're Mold Breaker Jolly. You said versus 4/4
Jolly.
D
You
Knight.
gotta outspeed the Dragonite.
Yeah.
You do have to outspeed the Dragonite.
Okay.
You got a number.
I got a number.
I'm not terribly confident in my number, but I got one.
All right, Alex, what you got?
Okay. I have 70 flat. We're just doing like 70. I guess like if you get like a 1 more multiplier on there, I'm implying that you kill like a choice band or a helping hand or a +1. I don't know if that sounds right, but I'm saying 70. I'm sticking with it.
I mean, we're Glass Dragonite, right?
We're 4/4.
Yes,
Dragonite,
we are.
yeah.
We're 4/4.
Yeah, no, I think the 160 base power goes pretty hard. I had 75.
75.
Okay,
We're
so
a
Nick
mere
is-
1 multiplier off.
Oh, and tempo. Oh, that's the other ability. Right. Now you got to be Mold Breaker in this format. You are both in it. This is
Nice.
Sorry, hold up.
Uh,
Jolly, never mind.
Oh, no.
Only one of you is in it. It does.
I'm in.
It does 59.8 to 70.6. It does not
Hey,
quite get there with
wow.
the help. It does get there with the multiplier, right? It gets there with a helping hint.
No. It's a
Sometimes.
roll.
Sometimes.
Adamant gets there.
Yeah, Adamant gets there, but you can't be Adamant because you don't speed it. I guess.
No, wait, hold on. What's
Well,
Adamant
no.
max speed?
Oh wait, you totally do outspeed it. That's
You
crazy.
do outspeed.
Wait, this guy's actually good.
Okay. Okay, I'm claiming
I don't know
that,
about actually good. I don't know about actually
no,
good, but
I'm claiming that we were allowed to be Adamant and McCalkin, so I got it right. I don't think that's how the game works, but Adi messed up his premise. There's no reason to be Jolly Tinkaton.
You gotta understand. I was looking through.
kind of.
I did not have one ready. I was just looking at the tier list. Oh yeah, Tinkaton. That guy's kind of cool. It is kind of cool. Look, everyone's
It is
so
exactly
what,
fast enough.
You
to
tell
be
me
Adamant.
what is Sneasler Dragonite doing to a Tinkaton, man? You're fucking that shit up. It's pretty good.
Is it
No,
skill
this
shotting or is it
taking close
extreme
combat
speed?
way worse than Metagross. What do you mean? This
Nah,
is taking a lot.
What do you mean? You don't think my glass Tinkaton can take a close combat from Sneasler?
Dude, are you dying to E-Speed CC? Like, I'm
Calc is right.
legitimately
How much is close combat from Sneasler doing to a 4/4 Tinkaton?
84.
Yeah, that number sounds pretty good. I'll lock in 80.
Yeah. Hey, you live it. That's all that matters.
I nailed it. I did nail that shit.
And guess what?
Yeah, I don't think E-Speed is doing the 22.
And if you're
needed,
adamant,
so
I think.
you Oko the Sneasler back. Look, this mon's good.
Wait, this one might be good.
This mon might be good.
This one might not be good, but it might be good.
it has feint. It has feint as well, right? So if you hit the Sneasler down to Sash, you can finish it off.
Okay, so Tinkaton Scissor gets there through Sneasler Dragonite.
God damn it, Nick! We have to get a
It's on the
Berserker
outside.
on the team at this point because we have so many steals.
All right. That is going to wrap it up
We've
from
cracked
us.
the format.
We've cracked the format live on stream. Y'all are not ready for the Tinkaton stream. Thank you for tuning in. This was our tier list. If you missed it, you should definitely go watch the entire thing on YouTube tomorrow morning! !YT in chat. Thank you, whoever did that ahead of time. Must be Alex, the only person else in the Top Nation account.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And we are going to pass you over to who's streaming right now. Let's see. But yeah, and then we might be doing some either live streaming or rewatching LAIC. We'll definitely have some content going on Friday, so look out for that. And I think we're gonna send you over to the #1 ranked player, the truest Sci Spam believer. It is Topo Wapo in the chat. He was #1 on ladder with a Sci Spam earlier this week. So go say hi to him, check him out, let him know that we moved all the Sci Spam guys up a tier. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in.
Wait, you can't baby doll Isaac King game.
I mean, it gives it a +1, but you can do it.